All right, EdTech Dialect session, collaboration and team. So what we're going to do is we're going to dive into different ways that you can collaborate. And it's not just how your groups or how your students are going to be meeting, but I also want to look at this from a perspective of peer leadership, students kind of going off on their own and creating teams and things like that. How you can collaborate both synchronously and asynchronously, and how the tools within teams is one big tool, fit within what you might be trying to do. So I'm not going to try and identify like all these different specific things that you should be or might be doing in your classes. I want you to say, hey, I could use that, or hey, I could use this. So that's kind of what we're going to dig into. So the objectives for this session are to identify various keys to collaboration. Take a look at identifying how teams can support your collaboration in your learning or work environments. Because this session is really going to apply not just to the classroom, but also to any sort of role that you might have here at MCC, whether it be your time in the class or your time with a committee or your time up in admin or wherever you are on campus or off campus, how you can make teams work for you. And to construct an engaging learning experience, and not just a learning experience, but just an engaging experience with whatever you're trying to accomplish here. And lastly, increase your ability to share with peers, not just how you work within your peer groups, but right here in the session, how we can share what we're doing with our peers. So what is collaboration? Collaboration is the action of working with someone to produce or create something. And in this case, it's in teams. Bigger picture, it might be the result of working in teams and what you accomplish from a problem solving perspective, or moving through your course objectives in your learning environments. So 5 effective collaboration strategies for improving teamwork. One of them is to highlight individual skills and strengths. For truly effective collaboration, everyone has to bring something unique to the team. So you might think of that in terms of the work that you do within groups, pair sharing, peer review. Teams obviously can work to support that. You might also use it to promote the concept of community. Obviously, it's our middle name, but when you emphasize collaboration as part of a bigger picture, you're obviously promoting a sense of community. Everybody is pitching in. Everybody is sharing ideas, and you should encourage the sharing of ideas. And Teams provides a place for you to share those ideas, whether it be in a channel message or a meeting like we're having right now. Maybe it's a collaborative document or a spreadsheet or presentation. Sharing ideas is important, and through that, we're stimulating creativity. For a collaborative team to succeed, it must provide innovative ways to solve existing problems. So, to go along with that, you should know that Teams works with external users as well. So if you ever need to pull in somebody, I know you've had guest speakers and things like that, or people like that, you can bring in those external users to your teams, whether you're meeting virtually like we're doing now, or maybe you're having a conversation amongst a channel or the flow of a channel. And lastly, you should be the model. Okay, so you as the instructor, you as the boss, you as the leader of your group should work to emphasize points of collaboration that you have or have had that have been successful, that you've solved problems with, and things like that. And lastly, rewarding collaboration. There's an awesome tool within Teams called Praise. And I don't know if you've used that yet within your channel, but I'll be showing you how you can assign or award, I should say, praise to those of you that you are that you're working with. So the first question, I want you to take this over to the Teams chat. The first question is, what do you think of when you think of collaboration? Since there's not a lot of you here, it shouldn't take very long. But if you can just pop to the Teams chat and throw in what you think of when you think of collaboration, that would be great. Hi, Elizabeth.
Hello. Trying to do this on my phone. I don't know how to write in chat.
Up in the upper left-hand corner, you should, if you tap on the screen and you should see I shouldn't say upper left, upper right-hand corner, you should see the chat bubble or the chat icon. Awesome. All right, I'm going to keep moving. So go ahead. Obviously, you can asynchronously enter your message into the chat whenever you want, or if you don't want to, that's cool as well. So some ways that we can collaborate in teams. First things first, you can start your own team. Maybe you need a place to work with your group. Teams are not just for class. Okay, as some of you have experienced, you've created teams for your committees, you've created teams for your extracurricular items and events and things like that. We have teams for all different sorts of projects and stuff like that. Your students can create teams. So if you're doing some group work and a channel or a private channel isn't the place for that, they can easily create a team to get that done. Teams channel conversations, another great place, as you may have known. You want to change up a Canvas discussion, you can take it over to Teams and take part in a discussion that way. It's just cool because you can share GIFs and very easily share files and collaborate on those files. And we'll dive into all that stuff here. And I mentioned the shared files. It's very easy to share a file in Teams. And you can get to that shared file, whether it be in a chat or in a meeting or in a channel, or your own OneDrive files are available for you right within Teams. Excuse me. You may notice that when you are working in Teams that it takes a little bit for Teams to do things like schedule meetings and stuff like that when you first create them. That's because Teams is like a hub that brings together OneDrive and Outlook and all these different Microsoft products into one place and makes it more convenient. So that's why we see file sharing being available so many different places within Teams. Teams Chat, if you haven't used Teams Chat, you're using it today. It's a very effective tool for quick conversations, whether it be with a group, within a meeting, within an individual. Maybe it's something that you don't want to start a big email for. You can just reach out quickly with a Teams Chat, especially with the rate of use here at MCC and a lot of our users putting it to use and having the mobile apps and stuff like that. Teams Chat is especially effective and efficient. Teams meetings, obviously, we're here meeting synchronously, but Teams meetings, you can't overlook the fact that you can record your Teams meetings for later viewing, and it's just another way for you. And a lot of instructors and a lot of people have actually done a Teams meeting, a solo Teams meeting, just for the sole purpose of recording that meeting for others to view later on. So lots of different outlets, lots of different creative uses of it. Teams back channel. So in your class, you might have a chat going on within your meeting. Okay, it is a great way to collaborate, ask questions, have questions answered, share ideas, share concepts, all within the flow of a meeting. And that's why Teams Chat within a meeting or back channeling is great. And last but not least is Microsoft Whiteboard. I know that we don't use it a lot as part of the Teams meeting. We open up the Whiteboard app separately, but Whiteboard is available as well. It just isn't part of the recording yet, unfortunately. And these things aren't meant to be used as like silo items, okay? They can all be kind of mixed and matched. You can share files within conversations. You can chat within meetings. You can get how you can mix all and match all these different collaboration tools within an activity or an event. So right on to question number 2. We only have 4 questions today. Question number 2 are, what are some tools in Teams that you have already used for collaboration? So first things first, we're talking about different places of collaboration. And the first thing you want to do is, obviously, if you don't have a team, you're going to want to create your team. Now, the nice thing is, if you're doing it for your class, Microsoft Sync is a great tool right within Canvas that will create a team for you based on your course roster and keep that team updated based on your course roster. But if you ever need to create a team, it's very easy for you to do. You can see that I have created this one right here. But if you go to the Teams area, you might have this view set up right here. You might also have this view right here, the list view as they call it. But in any case, you can easily create your team by looking for the join or create team right here. In the list view, it's down in the bottom left-hand corner. If I switch my view back to the tile view that you saw before, or the grid view as Teams calls it, it's up here in the upper right-hand corner. But if you just click on join or create, you're going to see a bunch of different options here. We want to create a team. And if you get asked what type of team you want to create, you're going to probably want to roll with other. And just like that, you can give it a name. We're just going to call it sample because I'm going to get rid of it soon. And just like that, your team is created. You can encourage your students to create teams. You can encourage anybody that you work with to create teams for whatever it is that they need. Adding members is really easy. I just start typing in a student or a MCC username, and I can add them just like that. If it's an external user, I can add them by email. You can see I've added my personal email before, but you just go like that. And you can click on add, and it's going to say, hey, how you want to add them. You want to add them as a guest, which is how all external users get added. Or internal users, you can have the option of adding them as an owner or as the default method as a member. And so just like that, my team has been established. Like I told you, everything is syncing on the back end. So we're not going to be able to schedule meetings or anything like that right now. Probably have to wait about 30 minutes or so. But we can post conversations in the channels, and we're off and running, ready to go. So on to the next thing. Some more important things. Now, this is really important when it comes to collaborating. And if you haven't told your students, or if you haven't told people that you work with about this, channel notifications are muted by default. Okay, what that means is when you are in the team, you see I have a channel right here. Okay, I can go to my channel notifications, and you can see right here, I just created this, they are off. So if I were to go here and post, actually, I'm going to go to my sample team. If I'm going to go here and post, of course it does, there we go, a new conversation. None of you are going to get a notification for that unless you've already changed your notification settings, okay? To do that's very simple. You just go into channel notifications and you can change them to all activity. You can also set up custom notifications as well. And you can see once that opens up, you'll be able to set your custom notifications. Apparently that's not going to open right up for me right now, and I'll probably have to move on to it, but you now know that it is there. But if you want to make sure that someone sees a conversation, all you have to do is tag them. And tagging is great because you can tag individuals. Like Brianne, you're at the top of the list there. So we're going to start and pick on you. And just like that, I know that Brianne is going to get notified of this channel post, okay? Whether she has notifications turned on or not. Maybe I don't want to send one to just Brianne. I want to send one to the entire channel. I can send notification, or I tag the entire channel in it, and all of you will get a notification. So this is very important when it comes to collaboration and knowing these things and knowing these different ins and outs, because there's been several times where I've been in a team and didn't realize that I was, or a new conversation had started because I wasn't getting notifications for them. So, and like I said, an easy fix is just to come on in here and turn on your channel notifications. Although a lot of you are probably a part of a lot of different teams, so you don't want all those notifications. So in that case, it's really important that you encourage people to use tagging. You can also create your own custom tags. And to do that, you just go to either Manage Team, or you'll see Manage Tags here. It's going to take you really to the same place. It'll just take you directly to the tab. And you can actually create a tag. Name it whatever you want, and you can add individuals. So I'll add Michelle. We can add Becky, and we'll add Bill since they were the first three here today. And just like that, we'll create it. Now, when I go to the general area here, you might have this for like your executive team or something like that, or whatever you have for a committee or group, or maybe you have a leadership group in your class. I can go at ETD, just like that. And just like that, we can see that we have the tag. And I can give them a special welcome to this EdTech Dialect with 2 exclamation points. There you go. And you probably got a notification on that. So that's a big one that I really want to emphasize today, mentioning and using tagging within your channels. You can also tag people in a chat conversation. For example, if I wanted to reach out directly to Trisha, I could in this chat say, Trisha, and I say hello, and that comes through, and that's obvious that I'm speaking directly to Trisha in the meeting chat. So as far as a bigger view of what they call it, like the 1,000-foot view, higher up view of notifications, you can easily do that, and you should pay attention to that in your Teams area. If I bring up that Teams area, if you just go to your settings here, up in the menu dots, and click on your settings, you can get to your notifications right from here, and you can dictate how you would like to be notified for a lot of different things within Teams. Okay. So be aware of that as well, because like I said, it's important for collaboration. So that's account notifications, channel notifications. The activity area is important as well, and it's overlooked. I haven't done a great job of emphasizing that, but up in the top, you're going to see your activity area. And the cool thing about the activity area is obviously you'll see everything that you've been or should have been notified for within Teams, but you can also filter your notification area. Okay, so you see you have your feed here. You can change it to your activity and things that you have done. But I'm gonna focus on just the feed, and you can filter that. So if I wanted to see, for example, let's see, Heather has sent me a couple messages lately, and I can see all the different messages that Heather West has sent me. I can also go through and I can say, hey, I only want to see messages or that she has had reactions to, and I can see things that she has reacted to, and I can go to those different items, and I can see, oh, she thumbs that one up. Okay, and I can easily cruise through things. So some of you are worried about, like, if I use Teams, I'm not going to be able to use filtering like I do in my email. Okay, and that is 100% not true. In fact, it might be even more efficient in the fact that you can go up here to this overall search bar, and you can find pretty much anything that you need to find and search for, and also put in different commands and stuff like that. So it makes it super easy for you to find past conversations, ongoing conversations, and follow up on important conversations. Also, you should get the apps. If you don't have the Teams mobile app, if you don't have the Teams desktop app, it provides more of a 360-degree user experience. You might get a chat message on the go that you can easily respond to. I don't know about you, but I like to respond to things as quickly as possible, because otherwise I'm more likely to forget about them or not have my memory working as well on the particular topic. So the sooner I can respond to something, if I'm out and about or solve something, that's less that I have to worry about later on and try and recall later on. And yes, there are definitely times that I want to just step away from everything, and I definitely do that as well. So the balance is totally up to you, but the mobile apps provide you the opportunity to decide on that balance. Speaking of mobile, you can do pretty much everything from your mobile device that you can do from your computer, and in some instances more. So Elizabeth, you're joining us from the mobile app today, and I think that's pretty cool. Thanks for doing that. But you're, like I said, you're connected wherever you go. Okay. You can also switch on Do Not Disturb if you don't want to be disturbed, or you just don't have to bring the mobile app, or get rid of the mobile app, or shut off your notifications. Like I said, it provides a lot of efficiency, so you can be out and about, respond to things, and be done with it, and move along and answer questions as they need to be answered. That's how I use it. I can share meeting content. So if I wanted to, I'm sharing obviously from my laptop screen right now, but I could kick the laptop share out of the way, and I could share the screen of my mobile device. So it's going to take me like 2 seconds to do that. If I click on share here and I tap on share screen and I start the broadcast, you should see my mobile device jumps right in and starts sharing. Okay, so you can see all my different MCC apps here. If I wanted to take you through a tour of the Canvas mobile app, I could do that. If I wanted to maybe give a PowerPoint, show you a PowerPoint presentation right from my mobile device, I can do that. Your students can do it as well. So maybe they are operating with only a mobile device. They can actually give a presentation. And you're like, well, that vertical view is not very good, right? Well, when I take my phone and I turn it sideways, well, look what I just did there, okay? And now we're collaborating and we're working on a PowerPoint presentation, a previous PowerPoint presentation that I did on an ETD session, right from a mobile device. And all of you can see it. You can give me feedback. We can work on it. We can edit it. I can share it. And I'm doing that from my mobile device. So that's pretty cool, I think. And I'm going to say, Kevin, your mobile device ain't working very well. So we're going to take over again with the computer, even though that's not true. The mobile device was working great. So you can share meeting content. You can even do audio messages. So I probably ended that broadcast a little too soon. But you can easily, instead of typing out a message, you can quickly send an audio message. And I'm actually I want to reshare my screen because I think that is a pretty cool thing. So let me share my screen real quick again from my mobile device. And from my meeting area here, I'm going to actually leave this meeting area, not the actual meeting. So I'll tap on the upper left here. You can't see my screen. Yeah, you can see my screen. Good. And then I will go to, I'm going to go to a team area. I'm going to go to, well, we'll use a team that we created for this. And I think your students will love sharing in this way. So you can go to the general. Maybe I want to do a new post, and I'll click on the plus, and you can see right from here on the over on the right hand side is the microphone. If I tap on that, I can hold that down. And well, I'm on a call right now, but normally I could hold that down and I could record a message to post to the group. So if I'm out and about, I don't have to worry about typing it out. I can just send a voice message. I can do that in the chat area as well. So there's lots of different ways that we can apply from the mobile device that chat feature. Okay, back to sharing from the computer. Moving right along. In addition to that, you can also scan documents. So if you need to share a document, but the document is a physical document currently, you can easily take a picture of that document just using the picture icon when you're going to chat or when you're in a channel meeting. Very easy for you to do that using your camera on your mobile device. And last but not least, GIFs. Now, I know you can send GIFs using any sort of instance, the app, the web app. But GIFs were a thing that started with the mobile devices, and I always think of mobile devices when I think of GIFs. So they're definitely there on the mobile device as well. So let's talk a little bit about collaboration, both synchronous and asynchronous, and how it applies to teams, because I know that you're doing both types of things in your classes, in your work environments, and what does that look like? So synchronous, in the moment, working in the moment. And that can be done with large group, small group, a partner. Obviously, we don't really look at synchronous work as individual work. It's generally going to be with others. So obviously, case in point right here, we're in a meeting, but asynchronous version of a meeting might be the recording that others will view later on and ask questions and generate ideas from that. We also have things like the live reactions. If you haven't used live reactions, I push them frequently, but it's a great way to provide engagement, provide feedback, and also share, hey, that was a good idea. And that's a way for you to collaborate. If you haven't used the live reactions, I saw clapping no, actually, that was a previous meeting today. Somebody clapped. But you can clap, you can give a thumbs up, you can say you love things, because when I'm presenting, it's nice to see that people are tuning in, they're paying attention, and they're giving me good feedback. And feedback is an important part of collaboration as well. So live reactions is a great synchronous tool. Chat, obviously, asking questions during a meeting is a way that those things kind of intersect, but also just having a chat, whether it's an individual or a group, and sharing files or collaborative documents within that chat or within that meeting, or just sharing a collaborative document in the flow of a conversation in a channel and working on that collaborative document, whether it be a peer review or a joint presentation. You can be working on that document without saying a word audibly with people that you are collaborating with. And we'll dig into that here in a second. Asynchronous, obviously outside of class or outside the work environment. Passive time. So something that happens where I might post a message in a Teams channel, walk away, and somebody might respond to it a little later on or react to it. Okay. Just like the synchronous, it can be a large group, it can be a small group, it can be a partner, but it could be a channel message where I post a file or post an idea. Hey, what do you think about that? We've seen group work within your different courses where students post an idea or an instructor posts an idea, and a while later, a student follows up on it outside of class. Group work, the flow of your class, what you might be doing for tomorrow, a flipped classroom type concept. All of that stuff works. So there's lots of conversation tools within the channel that we can put to use, and I haven't spent a lot of time focusing on the different tools that you have. Obviously, we talked about tagging and mentioning already in this session. I told you I was going to talk about praise, and praise is something that's really cool. So like if we go, I'm in the wrong window here. If we go to our team that we have set up here, okay, I can click on a new conversation. And if I click on these menu dots, okay, I can add, and actually I don't have to because I now have loaded, but praise is on here, okay? It's this little medallion or whatever you want to call it, ribbon looking icon. And I can give praise. So I think that it's really cool that all of you are here. Actually, I think it's awesome. So, I can send out praise to an individual. I can send out praise to many. Okay. And so if I just start listing people that are here in this session, I think I have everybody unless somebody joined without me noticing, because I think Bill left. I can go ahead and just like that, I can send praise to all of you. So when we talk about, giving positive feedback and reinforcement, okay, just like that, you can offer up praise. Now you're like, that's not that big of a deal. It's a cheesy little unicorn, but every little bit counts. And you saw how easy that was for me to show praise. In addition to that, you can give praise within the scope of the channel area, but you can also do it in just a chat area as well. So if you didn't want to put it out in front of everybody to see, you can send individual praise as well. So that's a pretty cool little tool just to give a little extra push to those in your classes, in your departments, who you're working on projects with, stuff like that. Forums are also available right within the flow of a conversation. So if you wanted to get a quick poll going or something like that, you can see that there's a forums icon right here, and you can quickly set up a poll. That's a great way to get some engagement and feedback, but also to steer the route of your collaboration. Hey, what do we want to do for our project? How do we want to go about it? When can we meet? So lots of different uses to find availability, ideas for topics, things like that on items that you are working on in a department or in a class. Very easy to set up. You just put your question here and your different results there. You can give multiple answers if you want. You can see it turns into a checkbox. So there you have it. You can also very easily post YouTube videos. There is an icon for YouTube. So maybe I have a catchy YouTube video that I wanted to share with everybody. Let me see if I can get this to paste in quick. I don't know if it'll work or not. There it is. Look at that. One of the top items right there. Maybe you didn't see my pop-up session on Microsoft Edge last week and you'd like to check it out. Well, let me share it with you real quick. Okay. Now the cool thing about this is it's very easy to reply to different conversations within a Teams channel. You can see that anybody that comes in here can reply to this one or pop up to this one. And you probably use this within your courses. Actually, I've seen it. Michelle's AMP biology class is a great example of that. I was snooping for examples and I saw the different images of the body parts, not human, that she has in her team and the different replies and things like that. And I thought that was a very cool example. So chat as well. Obviously, chats can happen back and forth with two active chatters, but it can also happen where you send a chat and it gets responded to a while later. And so it can be used both synchronously and asynchronously. And Bill mentioned OneNote. All these items are embedded or integrated, I should say, right within Teams. So you can go up here to the top area and you can always add a OneNote tab. You can see right here. You can add a whiteboard to a channel very easily as well. You see the icon here. And so just another place to collaborate on ideas. Maybe you just need an inking space to do sketches or bring in an image and mark it up. Maybe you need a trapper keeper or a folder, a OneNote as they call it, to keep track of meeting minutes and agendas and stuff like that. All of that can get brought in to better or further organize your channel area. Whiteboards can also be brought into your chat area as well. So in addition to your files area, you can also add a whiteboard area. So if I find Maryland's student here, you can see that I've already added a whiteboard to this chat conversation. Okay, so I wanted to share a whiteboard, and this is a place that we can keep coming back to, Maryland, the test user, and we can keep coming back to and working on and identifying and pointing out and collaborating and whatever other words, keywords, buzzwords that you want to use here. But that whiteboard is forever associated with that chat area. And that can be used for both individual chats and group chats. Obviously, we can also share a document. We're going to talk about files here in a second and really dive into what that looks like and where that is. So here we go. Collaborative files is an excellent way and a kind of a cornerstone piece of collaboration within Teams. If you haven't used collaborative files within Teams yet, hint, hint, you should. And so the first place that you can share files is obviously right within a channel. Now, the cool thing about that is if I go to this area, I can, and I have shared quite a few conversations already, but I'm going to do one more, and I'm going to share a file here. Now, I can either click on this attach file icon here, and you can see I have a lot of options. I can upload from my computer. I can go to OneDrive, or I can just drag and drop a file right here. But I'm just going to click on OneDrive, and I'm going to search for, I have a lot of folders, but I know the one I'm looking for, and scroll down until I find it. And we should see it soon. Nope, there it is. I overlooked it. So if I bring that marketing plan example document in, just like that, I can either do it as a shared link, or I can do it as the actual file. So sorry about that, I clicked on the wrong button. We're going to circle on back. Find that example document. There it is. Where's my marketing plan? There it is. And I want to upload a copy of it. Okay. But actually, I'm going to share a link because I want to just use the original document, and I can say, give me your thoughts on this. Thanks. And I'm going to go ahead and tag this team because I want all of you to be notified so that you can take a look sooner than later, or give me your thoughts, excuse me, sooner than later. Now, once I share that, okay, it's obviously going to be available within the flow of the channel, but it's also going to go into the file area because I've now shared it in there. It's not there yet, but it eventually should show up there. And so that's two ways for you to get to these files. If I wanted to see it here and it's not showing up here, that's not a big deal because I can always go to upload and bring the file in that way as well. So if I go to my OneDrive, go to my example documents, which I think I had already opened it, but there it is. Okay, here's another way that we can bring a file into our team or our channel area. And you can see it's uploading, and there it is. Now we have access to it. And that's probably a better way to do it, just directly from the file area. It should also notify the team that I posted it, which is not showing up yet. But in any case, we can easily get to those files. We can also share files easily within our meeting. So if I wanted to drag and drop a file right into the meeting here, I can do that pretty easily. And I can take that, drag that right there. And just like that, I've shared that file. Now, the cool thing about sharing this file here is when I go to the chat area, when I go to the chat area for this meeting here, okay, I'm not seeing it right now. Oh, there it is. Okay, I was looking for it somewhere else, but it will eventually show up as a shared file in our file area. Okay, and if it doesn't, it's not a big deal because I can quickly add it right from here, just like we did before. So there's so many different ways for us to share files in different avenues and different aspects within Teams. Okay, so if I open that, there we go, share it. There you go. There's another way for you to have that example document. In addition to that, you can share with an individual directly from the chat area with any of these people. And each different chat has a file area. Okay. If you need to find any and all of your files that have either been shared with you, you also have the file area right within Teams here. So if you click on this, you can see you're going to have access to Teams that are Teams files that are shared in Teams, but you're also going to have access to your OneDrive files right here. Those are your files. Other people do not have access to those files unless you give them access. And so just a lot of different ways for you to get to different shared files or share your files within a channel. So I covered the channel, I covered the chat, covered individual file storage, covered adding files. And yes, you can add files right from here as well. Okay, you can create a brand new file type. This is your OneDrive, much like if you went to the MCC sign-in area, clicked on the OneDrive tile on the web and uploaded a file that way, this will also get it there. Okay, and you can also upload files and folders right from here. Whew, take a breath, Kevin. Here we go. And you can also share these files with external users, which makes it pretty cool as well. So a third question, because we're getting towards the end of this. How have you collaborated in teams outside of class or your work environment? I would like to know. So obviously you've run meetings, probably. Obviously you've probably sat at your desk and chatted with others. Maybe even participated in a channel, but like, What have you done where you've been out and about, or maybe you've just been at home and it's been kind of nice to be able to work with others still, something that you might had to have been in a conference room or a classroom in order to do. Now you can do it wherever. So maybe it is a meeting. All right, let's keep going. Go ahead and finish up. So just please keep in mind when it comes to teams that it's an opportunity for you to encourage others to establish spaces for collaboration as well. Not just, the work that you do in class, but maybe it's a project, maybe it's a group or a committee, or, a non-credit, or, just a project that you're working on amongst your peers. You can create teams, they can create teams, and they can create channels. They can also create private channels. Okay, so maybe you want it to be within the flow of your class, but you don't need everybody to see every different channel. Maybe you're doing group work and you want a group 1, group 2, group 3. You might create private channels for that. And then you as an instructor or you as a leader have access to all those different channels. But those working in those areas have a place where they can collaborate, communicate, and not have everybody else see their ideas for that particular project. And encourage them to create channel messages, not just chat messages or not just replies to the ones that you create, but also their own to generate conversations and questioning. Meetings can be scheduled and started by anybody. So very easy to obviously schedule a meeting and start a meeting. It doesn't have to be just ones that the instructor or the boss has created. Back channel conversations kind of happen organically, I guess we'll say. But if you want to encourage more conversation, encourage them to ask questions in the chat during a meeting. Encourage them to answer questions. I love it when I'm doing these sessions and a question is posted and somebody else beats me to it. That's very helpful, but it's also a learning experience for both the person that's asking the question and also answering the question, because they have to put some thought into it and look at it from a different perspective that's problem solving. And so some cool examples that I've come into. Michelle, I told you I was snooping, but you can see that Michelle has actually used channel conversations and had students start those conversations with different parts of the body. And so posting pictures, and that can be done from any device, a mobile device, a computer, and they can be labeled and responded to or replied to, questioned, lots of different opportunities there. GIFs are a hot item, not just for us adults, but also for the adults that you teach and that you work with. There's also, examples like a faculty sharing team, which is something that I, at some point, will return to, and hopefully we can make that go crazy instead of having to send emails for everything. And I think that would be something that's easier for all of you when I share things to try and search for an email. Instead, you just go to that faculty sharing, you can see things that I've shared. Heather uses whiteboard like crazy. Now, obviously, at this point in time, it can't be used as part of the team, so you have to actually open the whiteboard app. But hopefully, eventually, you can open up the whiteboard app as a screen share within Teams, and it will be part of the meeting recording, but not yet. Student meetings can be used. Students can generate their own meetings, as I said. Private channels, mentioned that. Student hours and incorporating Microsoft bookings. You can actually create a tab within your teams for students to sign up for class meetings or group meetings or office hours and things like that for them to meet with each other and yourself. So if you're interested in bookings, we've done a couple sessions on those, but I can show you how to get that into your team real easy, and it makes it very easy for people to sign up for whatever it is you need them to sign up for. Like I said, whether it be student hours or just lab time, but an opportunity to get together and meet with others. And Bill left, but him and Kristen brought up a way that they did group work in their live online class. And your first thought, as I mentioned before, is that you have your in-class students meet in groups and you have your out-of-class students meet in groups. Well, with the way that we have it, where students in class might be out of class the next time they meet, you can't really set up your groups that way. So we can still, using Teams, do those group meetings, but it's really important that you encourage those that are in class to bring headphones and a device, because if you have a bunch of group meetings and a bunch of speakers speaking, it can be kind of nuts and distracting. So that's something that I carry with me to remind everybody, if you're doing group work and using Teams for that group work, make sure you encourage your individuals within your groups to bring headphones and a device. So Last item of the day, last question. What Teams collaboration tool are you most likely to use in the future? It doesn't have to be something that you picked up here. It might be something that you already knew about and wanted to put to use. But what are you hoping to use, most likely to use going forward? That's it. That's all I have. I just want to point out a couple other sessions that are coming up. We're going to be talking about building student relationships next month. So hopefully you can tune in for that as we continually work to build those relationships, because I think everything flows from those relationships, as you know, from your interactions with your students. Feedback and engagement flows from that, and probably should have done this session first. Collaboration flows from building those relationships, but collaboration can start and build those. So lots of different ways. Relationships can come from what we do in teams and how we do our group work. Okay, but you get the idea. And then I have a pop-up session I'm going to throw in there. There's some pretty cool PowerPoint tools that have come up. And I think that it would be good to have a quick session on that, just so I can walk you through those different new tools in PowerPoint. And I don't have a date scheduled for that yet, but stay tuned for that. And lastly, this is a big one, new quizzes, May 18. I know that's at the end of the term, but Canvas has a new quiz tool that's already out, and it's going to be replacing the current quiz tool. And I want to just kind of walk you through what we know at that time. So that's what's coming up. I appreciate you tuning in. If you have any questions, I'll be on hand here for a little bit. But I'm going to go ahead and end the session and end my recording, and we'll see you soon.